Start recording.
I know that.
Oh, what's good? What's good? What's good? Yeah, we're gonna be talking about what's it called? What we gonna be talking about? Peer pressure. Tell me what you think about it.
Peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, like peer pressure is like a huge thing. Like I like a bunch of kids in my middle school like got peer pressured or like did like peer pressure people. But to me, it's a really bad thing. I think it's a really bad thing.
Nah, give me like some examples of like peer pressure.
Peer pressure? Okay. So one example would be someone doesn't want to do this thing, but a bunch of people are forcing him or her to do it. Like they're doing it out of like because they don't want to. Or
Which and all right, so you said that it's a really bad thing. Why do you feel like it's a bad thing though?
because some people like when someone doesn't want to do something, they don't want to do it and they have a right, they don't want to do it and they just don't want to, they have reasons. But people um just go pretend like they own them or something, and they have to force them to do it, like they push them.
Yeah, I see that a lot. Like they try to get them to do it like, oh, you lame or something because you're not doing that.
Exactly, they start like pulling out reasons and like saying like, oh, you're lame, like bro, why we invite you or whatever. So they just start making up reasons to fake, they make them feel bad.
Oh, that is a big one. Why did we like they use the word we so like to get the whole group and they try to
Exactly.
use like, some type of projection.
Mm-hmm. They
I
try
feel
to
you.
have a whole group.
No, but sometimes like the way I was thinking, right? I'm like peer pressure could be good sometimes if you think about it, right? It could
Yeah,
have some real good effects. So like, what if I'm peer pressuring you to get up and like pursue like your dreams that you were scared of? Like you always talking about something, but you never been it, like you never went out and done it. But I told you like, yo, get on stage and just do it. Like say you're a good singer, and I'm like, bro, get on stage. And then like all your friends just cheering you to get on stage, but you real shy. Like you don't
yeah,
think peer pressure is good?
that's a good thing though. Like peer pressure could be good or bad. And most of the time, like in like this time, it's mostly been bad because like there's been bad like influences and stuff like that. But there could be some good times where someone pushes you to do something that you're afraid of. And when someone sometimes when that happens, you decide to like it a lot more and you could thank the person that pushed you pretty much.
Hmm. Have you ever been peer pressured to do anything?
I've been peer pressure to do like good things though. I've
Like
been
give
peer
me
pressure to like go out in the world and take photos of like stuff and like open my book. And but I've never really been peer pressured into bad things or though. I don't think.
I think I'm peer pressure proof. Like I'm like a repellent for peer pressure. So like people be telling me like, yo, do this, like try that. And I'm like, nah, bruh, no. It just
No
don't
man.
phase me. But like with the peer pressure, like I always hear like adults talking about peer pressure. They be like, oh, us teens, like we falling for peer pressure and all that. But like, what about them though? Because if I feel like the way I'm thinking about it, like the way I see it, I see everybody gets peer pressured at least one time in their life, right? Either to
Hmm.
do something good or to do something bad. Parents get peer pressured all the time, like with comparing like their kids to each other. You feel me?
Yeah,
Their other parents get them to start doing things like, yo, you should enroll you should get your kid to do that, or like you should stop your kid from doing that. And I'm like, that's a form of peer pressure, is it not?
it is. Yeah, it is. It definitely is because I've seen like a bunch of my friends have to change their whole lifestyle because of their parents being peer pressured by their friends to make their kid do something similar that their kid have done. It's crazy
Give,
what parents do and how they talk.
give me like your best example of that.
All right, so my mom has actually done this. Um, like she wanted us to like we had no issue with like phone usage and stuff. Like we were our phones like we barely used them. We mostly like hung out with each other. Me and my brother hung out. We went outside and stuff. And my mom was like hanging out with one of her friends, and she was saying, "Oh, I put this phone usage thing where they have a certain amount of time to use it." And she thought it was a good idea to put it on our phones when we barely used it. It barely affected us, but we thought it was pointless, and we didn't really like that.
Yo. I just got an idea in my head, right?
All right.
So like, what if parents and like in ways to like show off, like you feel me? And
Hmm.
it's like this friendly competition. What if they fall into peer pressure because of that?
I could see
Because
that happening
so
though.
like my kid does this, and then like another parent like, oh, your kid does this, well my kid does this, and then like after the talk they get their kids to do something else so that they won't like they could be ahead of the competition. But like,
Yeah.
why do you think peer pressure exists though?
Why do I think it? Um, I mean, I can think some good things. Like peer pressure is like the reason it exists is because to push people to new limits and like to push them beyond their boundaries and to get them out of their comfort zone, really.
That's a good one, to get them out of their comfort zone.
Hmm.
If you had that peer pressure somebody, right, to get out of their comfort zone, what would you say to them? Like, how would you make that possible?
I mean, I would do it with them. I would push them to do it. Like, for example, if someone doesn't want to do this crazy roller coaster, I'd say, look, let's do it together and you tell me how it is afterwards.
Also, you can go on the course with them.
I'd help them on the way there.
Like, you're not gonna be like, bro, you late, bro. Just like, bro, come on, bro. Like, yo,
Yeah.
get on the roller coaster. All right,
If they
now
don't want to go, they don't want to go. If they do, they do.
I'm telling them, yo, bro, what you got to lose? Let's go. Nah, but
Exactly.
nah, but yo, what you gotta do though? Like, I got another one. I'm gonna flip it.
You
If
slip.
you got a friend, right, they're getting peer pressure. Let's say, give me an example of something that they would get peer pressure for.
I mean, smoking.
All right, you got a friend that's smoking, right? You guys have mutual friends, and your friend is going with the mutual friends to go smoke or whatever, right? How would
Hmm.
you get them how would you get them to stop though? Because I feel like that's one of the number one things, like drinking and smoking at our age. It's really like the number one thing that peer pressure does.
It definitely is. Like, it's huge in our age and everything like that because a bunch of our friends or kids our age have been doing it now, and it's pretty much the new normal. And if I'd have to stop a friend from smoking, I'd like pull them to the side and tell them like, "Yo, let's not do this, and if this is like not good for you, let's just dip. Like, let's leave."
Nah, but like you could tell them yo, you could just you telling them like it's not good for you. I do not think that that's gonna be strong enough. Like let's go deeper, like go stronger. Like what if they're resisting it? Like they're like, bro, I only do this sometimes, even though you know they're obviously lying. They do it every day. How would you get them to stop?
See, like when someone's like very eager to try something new and you're trying to stop them, it's like you're putting a wall in front of their like desire. It's
Hmm.
like you're stopping them from what they love doing. And it's really hard to stop someone when they're already in motion pretty much. So I think I find a really hard time to like stop one of my friends from smoking um with that group because if they want to try it so bad, I let them to see because if it's a first experience, I'd let them try it to see how what they think. If they don't like it, then they don't like it. If they do like it, then it's gonna be an addiction for them.
I realized that the more you do something, the more you start to like it. So like
Exactly.
even if your first time is bad,
Hmm.
you're just gonna like it the next couple of times probably.
Exactly.
The way I stopped like a friend from like he still does it, but the way I stop a friend from smoking, like at least for like a day or like a week or something, I host workouts at my crib, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like I'll be like, yo, there's a time limit. You got to be here at this time. If you're not here at this time, I swear you're not working out. So like he would come a minute late, and I'll tell him, nah, bro, you not like because he was smoking. He'll come a minute late, and then I'll tell him like, no, bro, like I'm so serious, you're not working out, and that'll get him like feeling so basically so shitty, bro. And
Yeah,
that
that's
he either has to plan out another time to smoke, or he just doesn't smoke at all that day. And that made him like not smoke for like a whole week. And I'm like, yeah, I think to stop somebody from like getting peer pressured into bad habits or whatever, because like the only reason he smokes is because the group of friends that he be with. I
hmm
think you have to make them choose something. You want to choose this path or you want to choose that path.
yeah.
And like he wants to look good working out, so he chose to work out in days.
That's good. That's a good pretty much getaway from an addiction or peer pressure.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I don't know why, but that like peer pressure is like the number one topic in our thing. But like I feel like there is no right answer to what peer pressure is or how to stop it. There can only be like you can only list ways to help out with it or like what you think it is, but I don't ever think that there's gonna be like a right way.
There's never a right way to stop peer pressure or to peer pressure someone because it could always go either way. It could be good or bad, and there's never a right answer to it. Is the thing.
How do you think somebody getting peer pressure feels though?
I I mean, to be honest, like if someone was getting peer pressured, I'd feel like if I was getting peer pressure, I'd feel like really insecure and like um obviously pressured. And I'd like be questioning if like I should do this or should not. How would they think about it? Like I'd start questioning myself to see what people would think around me. Am I cool? Am I not cool? Am I this? Am I that? And like all that stuff.
I think what I'll tell somebody that's like getting peer pressure, it's like because when you see somebody that's getting peer pressure, like a lot of people, it could even be cool kids, right?
Mm,
Like the most popular person in the school. Little do you know that they're getting peer pressure because they have to live up to like a set standard, right? So
exactly.
that other people won't think something else of them. I'll just like tell them like, yo, it's something that Tom Billions said. I'll say like, what do you think about yourself when you're by yourself? When there's nothing but the sound of the voice in your head. Like, do you really believe in yourself and all of that?
Mm,
Because like I feel like that's very powerful, that's very deep because we never know truly what's going inside somebody's head. They could literally be the most popular kid in school, and then they could feel like they're doing they're doing everything that they can just so that everybody can like them, and that is a form of peer pressure if you really think about it.
yeah, it really is. It's like it's almost a form of peer pressure, like from everyone around you of what they think of you, almost. It's how they see you.
But why do we care what people think of us?
It's because the reason why people like why we care so much is because oh wait, hold up, my dog. Because we want to have like that perfection. Everyone's not perfect. There's no perfect person in this world. So we always care about what people think.
Yeah, I was reading a book called it was called what's it called, the subtle art of not giving a fuck. That shit was so bro,
Yeah.
that that shit was so powerful, right? So it even talks about like, all right, this is a little bit off topic, but it talks about sometimes we get mad about being mad and we feel sad about being sad. But it's all we have to ask ourselves is, I feel shitty, but who gives a fuck? And therefore, by nobody giving a fuck, what's it called? There's like this little pixie dust of fuckery that just makes all of like that makes you stop hating yourself, and then
Mm.
magically like you're not angry. You're not angry about hating yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like if we stop really caring like about what people think, then I don't think that we would probably get peer pressure because, like you said, what's it called? Peer pressure is just like them force. Like you said, like we're not, you're not part of it. What did you say again when you said we?
It was like how your friends perceive you, like how they look at you, how they see you.
So I feel like I feel like that's something strong dealing with peer pressure. Like
Yeah, for
actually,
sure. Like if you like if someone would like start ignoring of what other people think of them, they'd become like a better version of themselves, like for real.
and then becoming a better version of yourself. How could you? Like how could you become a better version of yourself? Think
It's
about that.
not it really isn't easy. Like saying it is easy, but working at it is not because sometimes you might hear rumors of like, oh, this person did that or that person did this. And that's how it gets around and that's what freaks you out. That's what like scares you. That's what scares the person or scares you the most. Like what people think of you. Like when you hear what they think of you, that's when your self-conscious like starts taking over and you start like really being scared.
All right. So what I learned was what I think, because we can never be right. We can always be closer and closer to being right. That's how we identify ourselves as the learner.
Hmm.
But what like I always thought about this, right? Becoming a better version of ourselves, right? We
Yeah.
can't really hear examples from people like what did they do to become better versions of themselves. Because becoming a better version of yourself is really what you think about you, right? So you have to do things that you find worthy, or how could you improve yourself? What do you think improving yourself is?
Hmm.
Because like the whole world, like you're always gonna be bad at somebody's story, right? the whole world could think of you like as a bad person, but if you think if you really genuinely find yourself a good person, then you're actually becoming a better version of yourself because you're able to go on living with the idea that you are like you're good enough for yourself without
Yeah,
having to be like narcissistic or whatever, like being obnoxious. But I feel like yeah, you just have to become better. I feel like becoming a better version of yourself is just doing things to improve you. And I don't think
exactly.
anybody else would like have any examples because they are not you.
Exactly. Like you can't like really help someone be a better version of themselves because that's a self goal. That's something you have to accomplish like by yourself. And you have to take time. It takes time. It really does. And you have to like set goals. You have to you like feel accomplished almost. You would have to feel accomplished in yourself and like forget what people say. Like you have to block that out and focus on yourself a lot. But it's not always about like, oh, let me just get rid of these guys and like have no friends. No, no. You can still have friends, but just make sure like what they say about you does not get to you.
Yeah. I feel like friends are like the number one lessons. Like everybody in your life is a lesson. Your friends show you like basically how to talk to people because like your friends gonna be dead ass with you. Like they're not
Hmm.
gonna give a shit about like how you're gonna feel in that moment. They're gonna keep it real. But back to the thing about like eliminating like taking yourself away from peer pressure, right? What can you do instead of going to what you're peer pressured in? Ways you can work on yourself. As I read in the book yesterday, right? It was saying that the more you try to help somebody or fix somebody, because a lot of times we try to help and fix people, that only makes them hate you a little bit more, makes them dislike you. The only thing you can do is to just say, "Yo, I support you, but you're gonna have to do this on your own." So like
Exactly.
you're gonna have to make it out of whatever trap that you're in. However, you got peer pressure, that mindset, you're gonna have to get out of it yourself.
That's the whole point. Like that's where you have to like focus on yourself a lot. Like you can't hold someone's hand through like their situation. They have to figure it out so in the future when something like that happens again, they know how to get out of it.
I feel like yeah, it's just like you gotta let them get burnt by the stove.
Exactly.
Because I learned like I've been trying to help people, but I realized that people have to be able to help themselves because if not, then how are they gonna be independent?
Exactly. And that's why you make these videos showing how they could like where they could start off and how they could progress on.
Yeah. And in my videos, it's funny, right? Because I'm gonna drop another video. Back to the thing about us not being like we can never truly be right.
Mm.
Like I'm gonna do videos about the videos that I've done and show like the progression and like because I probably wasn't right about some of the stuff I said, but I can get to a better like a more reasonable approach to all my videos that I've
Oh,
been able.
yeah, like a little series almost.
And yeah, like you said, like they are self-help like videos or whatever. It's not like I'm doing the stuff for them. I'm only giving them tips. And it's just like, yeah, if you could invite them on the journey with you to like do something else. So like let's say instead of smoking, you say, yo, let's go surfing or whatever, or kayaking or playing basketball.
Hmm.
That's a good invitation. It's not like you saying, yo, come play basketball, don't smoke.
Yeah,
So like
exactly. Like
there
you it's a whole
you're not taking the independence away from them. You're just inviting them. What you
yeah,
gonna
that's
say?
right. What's up?
What you was gonna say?
Oh, no, done, nothing.
Yeah, it's weird. Like peer pressure is a weird thing, but why do I don't know. Just think about this, right? Like after today, think about how are you gonna trap somebody in a peer pressure? How are you gonna get peer pressure somebody into doing something good?
That's a really good question actually.
Like how are you gonna trap somebody into doing something good? Like how are you gonna get somebody peer pressured? It might take a whole group.
It definitely, yeah, it doesn't take one person. It might take like a whole group, like a couple people. It definitely doesn't take one person because sometimes people might have like difficulty trying new things and or like getting out of situations. And that's why they need more people. That's why a lot of people support them and help them. And yeah, it's pretty much.
I think I'm in peer pressure. Like some people not get shy. Like you feel me? Actually chase after their dreams or whatever. But like I feel like to do that, like, all right, so let's say you have like multiple friend groups or whatever.
Hmm.
You like I heard the quote like you're the average of the five people you hang around. But if you have a friend that's like lower, that's in the lower average of you, right?
Yeah.
Invite them on to like the higher, like to meet the higher people, and then that's actually gonna help you grow. That's
Yeah.
gonna do different things.
It helps change. It helps like change that person's perspective of like what they're doing, and to see where they could fix themselves almost.
I feel like we get peer pressure in sports. You can peer pressure a lot of people into doing stuff as well. I feel like
For
coaches
sure.
peer pressure their players all the time.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
coaches, like especially in football, right? So
Yeah.
like you could be like dead ass like scared, like dead ass scared to get on the field or whatever. Like I
Hmm.
remember the time I got peer pressure basically, right? So I was like 9 years old and I was scared as shit to make a tackle or hit. The coach took my gear, right?
Hmm.
Put it in his trunk. He said, I won't get my gear until I hit somebody in practice. And like, yeah, when I tell you like I was so scared, but I hit that person so hard. And then after that, like I became a beast at hitting. Like I'm not scared to hit against anybody.
Exactly. It's like a huge leap of faith.
Yeah. Peer pressure in a way is kind of like it's like a lure, like a bait or whatever.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Like having cheese for a rat. Like I think that's what peer pressure is. We really
Yeah.
think about it.
That's a good representation. It really is.
Bernardo, yo, if y'all was watching, we were just talking about peer pressure and all that. It was my boy Six Stool on here. You feel me? It was just us two. We might have a deeper one next time, but hey, give me a like, give me a comment, give me a subscribe, tell me what you think. You just raised your mindset.
That's right.